right, welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. As always, my main man right over there, Mr. Tyrone A. Johnson. You know, sports is a pretty fickle business, Tyrone.
Yeah.
And one day you're on the top of the mountain and everyone adores you and your money's no good in any restaurants or bars and you drink for free. And bang, just like that. Bang, just like that. Bang, just like that. You're on the bottom of the totem pole. Nobody remembers your name. And you better bring cash because we don't trust that credit card's working. Oh, do I feel bad for Daniel Jones in Indianapolis. I really, really do. First, he breaks his fibula and says, you know what? I'm gutting it out. I'm a man's man. I'm playing. We're going down the wrong direction. We got to save the season. We went from the 1 seed to the 7 seed. We're a loss away from being out of the playoffs altogether. I'm going to do my damnedest to be a man's man. I'm going to play football. And he does play football. And, of course, we all know the story by now. Tears his Achilles non-contact. That's the way it always is. And the Indianapolis Colts say there's nobody in America that can fill the shoes of Daniel Jones better than a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers who is eligible for the Hall of Fame. I think he's in the final 26 this year.
He is.
He's 44 years old. He's got grandkids. Hasn't thrown a pass in 5 years. You see him right there. And the Colts are like, there's nobody else alive that we could possibly find that could give us competent football to win a game or two. Very tough schedule in the final month. We'll get to that later on. And Phillip Rivers yesterday gets signed to their practice squad. And if he is activated for a game, and clearly he will be, because you don't sign him to the practice squad after a tryout or a workout with the team if he didn't look decent in that workout. So Phillip Rivers is going to start, I think, this Sunday for the Colts. A lot of people are saying, don't start against the Seattle Seahawks. You know, a very good defense. The rest of their schedule's hard. And they don't have the luxury now of let's give 44-year-old Phillip Rivers 2 weeks to get ready to play what amounts to a playoff game for the Colts. But that's not the point I want to make here. The point I want to make here is the treatment of Daniel Jones, who is literally 5 weeks away from getting a contract north of $200 million to become the future franchise quarterback for the Colts moving forward, right?
He was.
And we can all agree that was happening. It was going in that direction, right?
It was. And he had all the leverage before the injuries. He had all the leverage.
That's right. He's on a 1-year deal. It was a make-good deal after the way things ended in New York, then being traded or being released and signing with Minnesota. And then, of course, signing on really to be the backup to Anthony Richardson, getting the job, killing it, 8-1 at one point, and now they're 8-5. And most people, myself, I think you included, now will tell you the Colts are not making the playoffs this year, and there's a better chance they're 8-9 when the season's over than over 500. But that's not the point.
And they don't have a first-round pick.
No first-round pick as the Jets have. Right, correct. So the future is not bright for the Colts, and Danny Jones is out for at least a year. Right? So I know this is a stopgap measure going out to get a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. It just doesn't make any sense, obviously. But I want to get back to the sports being fickle part, okay?
Yeah.
Here's sports being fickle. And I hate to put you on the spot. If you don't know the answer, you will not be embarrassed. I promise you. I will let it go, okay? Yeah. Do you happen to know what number Daniel Jones wore this year as the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts? If you don't know, it's okay. I'm going to tell you either way.
I do know it.
Go ahead. What number did Daniel Jones wear since joining the Indianapolis Colts?
If I'm not mistaken, it was 17.
17. You guys want to confirm that downstairs? It has been confirmed. Daniel Jones, number 17, okay?
Yeah.
Now, Daniel Jones only has a 1-year deal. Daniel Jones has no history with the Colts other than this year. Phillip Rivers is now coming in to become the new starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. And apparently the choice came down to either him or Brett Rippon, who I think has 7 or 8 starts his NFL career. Yeah. Not very good.
Yeah, he's on their practice squad.
If he even looked half decent, he would have been elevated off the practice squad, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what number Phillip Rivers is taking in his return to the Indianapolis Colts out of 5 years of retirement? If you wanted to take or hazard a guess,
wait a minute.
What number do you think the Colts gave him?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I know what number he wore with the Chargers. They're not going to do this Are they?
Well, yeah, you can play it out if you want.
Well, with the Chargers and with the Colts.
Yeah, what number was he?
He wore 17.
17, that's his number. Phillip Rivers is number 17 now.
Yeah.
He didn't play long enough with the Colts to retire the number.
No.
Or to even put it in mothballs.
No.
Because he wasn't there long enough. And
Right.
frankly, wasn't very good with the Colts based on expectations.
Older
right?
player, yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts, the body's not cold yet. And by the way, he's still physically showing up in the building.
Yes.
And will probably be on the sideline watching the game. The Indianapolis Colts have already given Daniel Jones his number 17 to Phillip Rivers now that he's returning to be their starting quarterback.
That's a cold shot.
Disrespectful that is. I know that was his number.
Yeah,
I know he's got a borderline Hall of Fame career. I know there's all the respect. And, if the number's available, you want to give it to him. But Daniel Jones is still on the roster.
Yes.
And while he's not playing another game because of the injury, that right there, all tied up in a nice little neat bow, is the fickleness of professional sports. The guy gave his leg and his Achilles to your franchise. And let's be honest, 3 months into the season or just under, he was the story of the NFL. Comeback player of the year, whatever, cockamamie awards you want to give professional athletes, he was going to get all of them, right?
Yeah. They had the number one offense.
They were 8-1. Mm-hmm. They had the best offense in football, and they were going to be the 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. All roads to the Super Bowl were going to lead through Indianapolis, right?
Yeah.
And the guy gives his leg and his Achilles to the franchise, and the first chance they get to humiliate him, to embarrass him, and to emasculate him is they give his number away to a 44-year-old grandfather who hasn't thrown a pass in 5 years in the NFL. That's why anytime you as fans, I don't care what the sport is, we have baseball coming up today as well with the Diaz and other rumors happening out there with major guys in MLB. That's why as a fan, you should never, ever, ever take the team side over the player side. You should always be player first, because all Daniel Jones did was resurrect his own career while resurrecting the franchise of the Indianapolis Colts. That's what he did. He made the Colts watchable. He made the Colts relevant. And the first chance they get to take the, what do you call it? The shiv?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Yeah, shiv, yeah.
Yeah, the knife. I call it a knife, whatever. And you shiv a guy.
Your shiv is like
a prison term.
Homemade.
Yeah, homemade knife's a shiv. That's right. I know a little something about that. The first chance they got to stick that shiv right in his back, they did it, and they did it with smiles on their faces. If I'm Daniel Jones, I would go into the Irsay family, it still obviously operates, the team, and I would say to them, go F yourselves. Because as soon as I'm back and I'm allowed to play and my leg is good and my Achilles is good, and look, I get it. He's not playing next year. It's a year injury, no matter how you slice it. You're out for a year. So in theory, he'd be back for the final month of his season with no practice really at all. So I'm just going to I'll take the liberty of saying he's done for the year. And normally we don't talk about the Colts much on the show. We don't talk about Daniel much on the show. But like as a fan, as a human being, I'm like, can't you give Phillip Rivers a different number? Right. Can't you show a little bit of respect for the guy that is not only still under contract, because he is for the remainder of this year, but he's the captain of your team, he's the leader of your team, and he played his ass off for you. Right. When I saw that, I said, that's it. If anyone ever takes the team side over player side in negotiations ever again, shame on you. Because I know you want to show respect to Phillip Rivers, and that's his number. Man, Phillip Rivers hasn't played football in 5 years. And he's not a Colt.
Right, he's a Charger.
He's not a Colt. Like, if Peyton Manning was coming back, all right, I can make an argument.
Yeah, of course.
If Burt Jones was coming back, old Baltimore Colt days, okay, it makes sense. You can make an argument.
Johnny Unitas.
If number 19 was coming back, you could make a case for it. But Phillip Rivers gets to steal Daniel Jones' number? Not on my watch, he doesn't. We got a great show for you today. Thanks for joining us here on The Carton Show.